Hi everyone, Silvercoin here. So some of you have asked about how I make these coin rings, and since I'm making another one today, I thought I'd video the process and hopefully show you how I do it. Just another thing before we get started, I found some coins work better than others. So obviously anything that's copper, as well as silver, and I tend to stick with 90% or higher, but something like sterling silver or copper would work really well, and especially coins which have a nice circular pattern. So something like this, a 1/4 anna, or like for example this one. This was a Newfoundland 20-cent coin, which is sterling silver, and then of course the Indian half rupee that I showed you the other time. And I did try to make one out of a cupro-nickel coin, so this was a Japanese 50 yen. This was a lot harder to work with because of the nickel. I had to anneal it a lot and hammer it quite a lot more than say a copper or a sterling silver coin. So anyway, let's get started. Just a quick rundown of the tools you'll need. So first off, you need a ring mandrel. So it's just a tapered hardened steel shaft. You'll need a nylon mallet, so something like this. Anything which is not going to mar your coins when you hammer it should work just fine. Make sure you have a good set of calipers, vernier calipers. Make sure you have some eye protection, some ear protection, because it gets pretty loud hammering away on it, and the punch and die set, so I'll show you how to use that. This is what I use to make a hole in the center of the coin. So what it has is there's a whole box full of different sized punches to punch the hole. What I found works best for me is I usually take 2 goes at making the hole. Say if I want to make one which is a 1/2 inch diameter hole, I'll punch it through with the next one down, the 7/16. That way I can fix it if it's a little bit off center. So what I'm working on at the moment is a 1927 Commonwealth of Australia halfpenny, and this is one that someone sent in for me to turn into a ring for them. So alright, I'll be back in a little bit to show you the next step. Okay, so I've made the hole in the center of the ring, in the coin. You've got to make sure that it's well centered, so make sure you double check everything, check it 3 times if you need to, just make sure it's well centered. Then you take the ring mandrel, which looks like this, and put the coin with the hole just through the top like that. Facing up, you want the outside, so when you use a mallet to hammer it down, this will fold over and increase in size until it's folded over. So I'll show you how that looks like after I've started folding it over. So you can see I've started hammering it down, and you can just make out the cone shape that's starting to form. Just a little bit more and then I'll be turning it over. So this is how you do it, just with the mallet. I use the sharp end here and just tap it around, just slowly working it down the shaft. Okay, what I've done now is just turn the coin the other way around so that the cone is pointing down this way. What I've also done is just wrap a piece of scrap leather on the inside. What this will do is protect the obverse of the coin from getting damaged when it's being hammered along the shaft. I like to do this when it's formed about a 45-degree cone, and then what I'll do is just continue to hammer this down to fold the edge in. It'll continue to slide down as I do this. So once I've done this, it'll pretty much be in the shape of a ring by then. So I'll show you how that turns out after I've hammered it down some more. I forgot to mention before that now is a good time to actually anneal your coin again. So I've just went and annealed it. I put the coin ring back on the leather, and now just begin to hammer it. Just keep hammering around the top to keep folding it over. So this is what it should look like now. It's been hammered all the way down and it's folded over, so now the top is also touching the ring mandrel. What you'll notice is it's still got a bit of a cone shape. There's not really much you can do about that because the outside of the coin is usually thicker because of the edge than the other side, so it has a little bit of a cone shape. But what you can do is just file the corner off. It'll sort of take away that inverted cone kind of shape. It'll soften the shape a bit and make it look a bit more even. So I'll do that. I'll take this off and just file the corner down a little bit, and then we'll show you what happens next. So I've gone ahead and filed the corner of the ring down a little bit just to lessen the appearance of a taper. You can still see it's a little bit tapered, but I guess you can file this down some more, but you'll just lose a bit more of the details. So I'll just leave it at that. But what I actually need to do next is to size the ring properly. So what the person wanted is a size 11. And what I have over here is a Rathburn ring stretcher. You can see it has all these steps. You just put the ring into one of these steps until it fits, and you put the tapered shaft into the top. Then you simply hammer down on the very top, and what it'll do is stretch these prongs out and enlarge the ring. I'll actually be wrapping another piece of scrap leather just around the inside to protect the inside of the ring from these sharp edges. So I'll get it all set up and then show you how it works. After just a little bit of hammering, you can see it's already stretched. It's actually sitting on the next groove, so it's enlarged a little bit already. So just keep repeating this until I get to the size I want. I'm going to anneal the coin some more just to make it softer and easier to work with. I'll show you how to do that. Just here back in my kitchen, I don't have a propane torch, so what I do is actually just use the flame over the stove. I have my crucible tongs here. I'll just use this to hold the ring over the fire of the stove. How do you tell you've annealed it enough? Well, what I like to work with is just based on the color that it turns into. So you can see it's still a copper red. After it's annealed enough, the whole ring will be sort of like a dark grey color. I can't really show you how to do this because I'm working with fire, and trying to hold a camera at the same time might not be so good. So I'll show you how that looks after it's been annealed. So now it's a nice dark grey color. It's only been in the flame for about 30 seconds or so, but this is a good amount of annealing, and you should really do this about 3-4 times during the process, just in between or any time you feel the metal starts to become a bit harder to work with. You can always go and anneal it just to soften the metal again. I'll just need to dunk this in water just to quench it, and then it'll be ready to work with again. I've put this through the ring stretcher another 2-3 times, and just in between each step I like to put it back on the ring mandrel and just lightly tap where it's become a bit uneven. So you can see that that's pretty good now. It's all hugging the edge of this ring mandrel, just to square it up between each time you put it on the stretcher. So a few more goes, I'm nearly there. This is about 1 mil too small, so not long to go before it gets to the size 11 that I'm looking for. So finally, after quite a lot of stretching with the ring stretcher, it's gotten to the size 11. Now at this stage there's 2 different ways of finishing off the ring. So as you can see, it's got this nice dark aged bronze kind of look to it at the moment. What I like to do is just take some very fine sandpaper and just sand down the higher details. So basically all the text, the crown, the robe, and just the top edge, I run over that with a very fine sandpaper, just lightly. So what it does is creates a really really high contrast between the text and the field of the coin. Just makes the details stand out. Or alternatively, you can just polish the whole thing. But yeah, I'll run some sandpaper along just where the higher relief details are, and then show you how that looks like. And here it is, the final finished product. So all I did was just with a 1200 grit piece of sandpaper, just lightly sand the text and the details, and I left the field in that dark bronze finish. Also around the inside, you just run the sandpaper in there a few times until you get the text to show up, and as well as around the top here. And basically that's it. You just sand it off a bit, polish out the details to how you want it, and just after that with the sandpaper I also like to scour it just with like a scouring pad, just to even out the polish there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video has been informative, and you can try and make some of your own. If you have any questions about any of the steps or any comments at all, just leave your comments or questions below. Please like my Facebook page. I've set up a Facebook page for my coin rings. You can see lots of photos of some other ones that I've made, as well as any that I have for sale. So thanks for watching. Leave your questions and comments below.